This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening, everyone. It's now approximately 6:05 on Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. I'll call this meeting to order. I would like to respectfully acknowledge that we are meeting on Treaty 1 territory, the traditional lands of the Cree and the Anishinaabe, and the traditional homeland of the Métis people. We are still holding our council meetings for the most part virtually, recording them and posting them to YouTube for residents to watch. Attending our meeting remotely on the screen are Councillor Zaxworthy, Councillor Kumka, and Councillor Randall. And around the table we have
Councillor Bartmanovich.
Raymond Moore, CAO.
and Penny McMorris, Mayor. So thank you everyone for being here. Adoption of the agenda. Be it resolved that the agenda be adopted with the following additions. CAO personnel report, June district meeting, and police ATV. May I have a mover? Mike, thank you. Steve, will you second? Thank you. Any further additions or discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Minutes of the May 4th, 2021 regular council meeting were circulated. Be it resolved, the minutes of the May 4th, 2021 regular council meeting be adopted as presented. May I have a mover? Irwin, thank you. Graham, second. Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Thank you. We do not have any delegations, so we'll move on to committee reports. And I'd like to, if you're all right, Raymond, I could put your personnel report up first. Or do you want to wait till the end?
I can wait till the end.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I will move on then to Public Works, Mr. Bartmanovich.
Mr. Bartmanovich will start. A reminder to everyone that there is an absolute complete fire ban in place for all outdoor fires and fire pits. This also means that there is absolutely no backcountry travel allowed with ORVs. So please leave your ORVs at home. The Victoria Beach water system is being pressurized, and it is expected that water will be available to customers this coming weekend. If you happen to see a leak in any of the lines, please call Public Works at 204-756-2286, and that number is on the website as well, please. The Albert Beach water system will be available as soon as the backup generator installation is completed, and they were looking at Tuesday or Wednesday to have that completed. As always with the annual startup, because we are pressurizing the lines after a long winter, there will be a boil water advisory in place as imposed by the provincial government. And once it is lifted, everyone will be notified immediately. Grading of roads will now continue now that the majority of the water work has been completed. Gravel will be put down as needed, and the dust off will be applied as soon as possible. A reminder, please, that brush piles are for brush only. For the safety of the cleanup crews, please, no building material, no old boards with nails and screws, no rocks, no metal, just brush. And Public Works also asked me to remind everybody once again, the large green GFL commingled recycling bin is for broken down cardboard boxes. Please take a few seconds, folks, because your appliance box, when tossed in its current shape into the recycling bin, takes up a lot of space. Please take a few seconds to flatten the boxes before you put them into the recycling. Paper products, aluminum, tin foil, everything, as much as possible, even your plastic containers if you can. Try and fold them down just a little bit. have them take as little space in the bins as possible. The smaller green GFL bin is for glass only. And I can't say this enough. Garbage bins are for bagged household garbage only. Appliances, construction material, that is your old busted up 2x4s and such, your old barbecues, styrofoam packaging from your appliances, clothing and furniture must be transported by the resident, or the resident must make arrangements to have these items transported to the Travers Bay landfill site. Landfill pass can be picked up at the Public Works office. They're free. You hang them on the rear view mirror, and you are free to take these items directly to the landfill. And it's a beautiful place to visit. Water samples from the well at the fire hall and Albert Beach Pump House, as always, are taken into Winnipeg regularly for mandatory testing. Our current inventory of bear-resistant garbage containers has now been spoken for. I have ordered our first additional 100 bins. Please contact me if you want to be put onto the list for our next 100. And I would imagine that the way that the requests are coming in, there's probably going to be another 100 being ordered a little later on in the summer. Okay. And that is it for Public Works. One last thing, folks, please, when you're using the green garbage bins, take the time to ensure that the latches cover the lids once you're finished, because
the critters are getting in.
The critters are getting in, and they're making a heck of a mess. If you're having trouble with the latches, see if a neighbor or somebody can help you out, or put in an e-service request to Public Works that there's a problem with the catch, and they can work to make the catch easier for people to operate.
Awesome.
Like a looser spring or something. Yeah, a lighter spring. Okay. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Mike? Irwin?
Mike, will the Albert Beach Pump House be providing water at that site over the weekend for manual jerry cans?
The plan is that yes, the pump house will be providing water.
Oh, for jerry cans,
Oh,
though. You're
oh.
not talking, are you talking about actually distributing water, or, because don't they turn the tap off?
Sounds like the surface system's not going to be working. So can I go down to the pump house with a jerry can and get potable water?
It sounds to me like the surface system will be working.
This Tuesday or this Wednesday?
Yeah, like today or tomorrow latest. There, what may be holding back the Albert Beach facility is the fact that they have to install the backup generator.
Or are you talking about this Wednesday or a week Wednesday?
Yes, today.
This Wednesday, today.
Tomorrow.
Today.
Okay, I misunderstood. That's very good news.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have some more details on that in conversation with Dennis Danwich earlier today, so it's looking good.
Do you want to update us on the water?
Please enlighten us.
Dennis was powering up the generator and completing the installation early this morning. It should be up and running by this time this afternoon. He hit a bit of a snag with the permit from Hydro, but that's up to him to resolve. I don't think there's any need for us to attempt to intervene on his behalf. So the tank is there, the battery's charged. The unit was fired up earlier today, as far as I know. So that should not interfere with whether the jerry can tap works or not.
We just got a text from Trevor. The Albert Beach water is on.
Wonderful.
Our guys are putting in some overtime the last few days, so much appreciated.
Good, I can safely come down to the beach for the weekend and not get run out of town.
Except for the pipes frozen under your building.
That's my problem, not my neighbors.
All right, great. Any other questions on Public Works? Thank you very much, Mike. Finance. Want to put Irwin's,
Raymond, can you put the graph up, please?
Sure will.
We even custom sized it for you, Irwin.
I did some work on that too. It's always a pleasure to be able to present a good report. What I've tried to do with this graph is to show in a pictorial way what the finances look like currently on the far right. In the middle was last year, and the far left is 3 years back. As you can see, the numbers are very, very consistent. I'm pleased to report that our reserves stand at $790,000. That's up $140,000 over last year. Our accounts receivable and miscellaneous assets are at $108,000, and that's actually down a little bit, down $56,000. So that tells me that administration is collecting our receivables. Our cash balance, conversely, is up. It's at $179,000, up $87,000 over last year. Our operating deficit at this point is $453,000. That's typical for this time of year because we have no revenue, but we have continuing expenses. That represents a slight increase over last year. It's $29,000 higher than it was this time last year. If you combine our reserves, our cash, and our receivables, in other words, it's a reflection on our ability to pay our debts. Those reserves and cash and receivables are at $1,078,000, and that's up $170,000 over last year. So things are certainly in very good shape. Our tangible capital assets are just under $2.5 million. They're down slightly from last year, and that's essentially an accounting entry for depreciation. Again, I think the graph speaks a clear picture of stability and good management, and thank you to our administration and all of our public works. Well done.
very good, thank you, Irwin. Any questions for Irwin on finance? All right, thank you very much, Irwin. Moving on to protective services. Mike, police?
Thanks, Ben. For April 2021, of 61 calls, they included 3 call-outs for alarms. There was 1 arrest that was made. There was 1 bear call. I would imagine that there will be substantially more bear calls in May statistics when we report next month because there's a plethora of bears out there. And a reminder, folks, it is illegal to feed wild animals. You're doing animals no favor. As a matter of fact, you may be sentencing bears to death. So if you're doing it, stop it. Feed the birds in the winter when they need it. Don't feed animals when the bears are out and about. Where was I? Oh, yes. Well, we've had 7 bears through our yard this week. We have a new grandchild. There are kids, pets, all in the area. Stop doing it, people. Anyway, there were 5 call-outs for RCMP assists, 3 bylaw infractions. There was 1 call for a check on the well-being. 6 COVID-19 calls. Folks, if you are concerned about people not practicing COVID protocols, call Victoria Beach Police. They will enforce provincial COVID protocols. 204-756-2322. In April, there were no break-and enters. Figure there are more and more people out here, I guess. So people are less likely to engage in those activities. There was 1 call out for a fire. There were 2 infractions of the Highway Traffic Act. 1 medical call that police were asked to attend. 3 calls for the ORB Act. And again, ORBs shouldn't be going anywhere right now because there's nowhere to go. Mine's sitting in my yard. 3 special attention calls. There were 9 calls for suspicious activity. So again, don't be afraid to call the police if something doesn't seem right to you. 1 call on a theft. There were 4 traffic calls, and there was 1 call on a trespass. And again, folks, please respect each other's private property. And that's pretty much it for the police report.
Thank And it is worth reminding residents, there are a handful, maybe a big handful of people in our community who own private property to the water's edge. If there is a sign up saying no trespassing, private property, please respect that.
You wouldn't want someone walking through your yard. So please respect the property of the people who own. The rule of thumb is if you have to get from one side of a private property to another, walk in the water, walk past it. Okay? It's that simple. And the water is so low. Yes.
Questions for Mike? Okay, thank you, Mike. Fire, Steve, do you have a report from our fire chief?
Yeah, it's pretty much all quiet. There was mention of the fire that Mike said, but it wasn't necessary to report on. So yeah, right now that there are no fires, you'll know real fast if there are because it will take off very quickly. I also just want to remind everybody, since the long weekend's coming up, that even though it looks as though it's going to pour, but I'll believe it when I see it, fireworks are illegal at all times of the year in the arm of Victoria Beach. So stop lighting them off because if you still want to have an RM, I suggest that you stop lighting them. Just a reminder that when you get up here, it's going to be a little shocking. There are, for those of you who weren't here, at the end of last year, there was a massive windstorm that went through, so there are a lot of conifers that are down. I just wanted to remind everyone that if you take a look at the majority of the trees that are falling, they are conifers. The reason is because they have a shallow root system. They are not designed for droughts. This is the 5th year that we're in a drought, and it looks like it's only going to start to get worse. They have a large surface area, they have shallow root system, as I mentioned, and they break extremely easily. The best thing that we can do is remove these fire hazards and replace them. Replace them with deciduous trees and deciduous trees only, so that way we can start to lower our fire risk on our properties. Aside from that, just please don't have any fires.
And the fire ban is in effect as well, Steve.
Yeah. And don't forget that when the trees do fall on your property, they still represent a fire risk. Please take the opportunity to get them out to your curbside so that we can properly dispose of the deadfall and dry brush in your yards.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, even though you may have a fire permit for your fire pit, during a fire ban, there's no fires, period.
No.
Correct.
Yes.
Fire pits are not honored and no fire pit permits will be issued during a fire ban. All right, thank you very much. Special events, there are no special events planned for the summer, to my knowledge, under our umbrella.
Well, not so much on our umbrella. The country market will be going on starting June 19th. Don't forget the electronics. Bring your old personal electronics June 19th to the parking lot.
Yes.
Load up the station wagon with your old dot matrix printer.
And your VCR and your Betamax player.
There actually is a list of what they will and won't take. You can check out the Facebook page. Or did they also post the?
I put posters all over the RM.
Perfect. Okay.
They take desktop, laptops, printers, computer peripherals, racks, and miscellaneous servers, phone systems, and software. And you can actually get data erased or destroyed on this day as well.
You don't have to worry about personal data if you surrender your computers to these folks. They are experts in ensuring that no one can get the data off of your hard drives, or just remove the hard drive if you want.
I think they will get rid of the hard drive for you.
Yeah,
I think they're bringing something that will actually
shred them.
Yep.
Okay.
So thanks for that reminder, Mike.
Yeah.
Golf course.
Memberships are up. I got one myself, and I'm looking forward to making sure I got the money's worth out of it. So shooting 60, 70 for 9 holes, I guess. And walk-ups are starting to increase. Other one, it's a little dry out there, but with a little bit of rain, it's going to be that same jewel that it always is.
I went to pick up money there today, and Barry, one of the workers, was saying the grass, it's green. The
Mhm.
water is on there.
Yeah.
It was on a little earlier, and because they get their water from the wet well.
Yeah.
So they were able to start watering, and it looked beautiful.
Mhm.
Looked beautiful. So,
Difference a day mix, a little earlier in the weekend. It was still a little brown, but it's good. But it's on its way to being a great course once again.
remember, social distancing when you're up there.
Mhm.
Wear a mask,
I-
wash your hands.
I just wanted to jump back to what he said about the water's coming from it's not coming from the water treatment plant. So just for all of those who do think that the water in the golf course is coming from the water treatment plant, and then that way we can automatically turn off the whole system and give everybody water substantially longer than when we do turn it on. That's not the case. It's from a private well, and so no, we cannot turn the water on earlier than we usually start up.
And it's not
Actually,
treated.
Steve, actually, the water
But
comes
it's
from
not
the
treated water.
wet well. It's not a,
Sorry,
it's not a
yeah,
regular,
not well.
it's not a drilled well.
Yep.
No,
And
not
it's-
well.
and it's not treated.
No.
And it's not treated. So
Water.
where do some of these ideas come from? I don't know.
Well, we don't know. All right, thank you very much, Mike. Graham, Municipal Buildings.
Okay, thank you. Electrical upgrades to the bakery have been completed, including a circuit for the electrical door. This was to make the wiring safe. There was some hazards reported to us at the end of last year. And there's provision for 2 more plug outlets is pending. There's a resolution for the installation of the electric door operator at the bakery has been added to this evening's agenda. The Albert Beach generator is in place and connected, and the tank from Metro will be arriving this week. Actually, that was 2-3 days ago. It's anticipated that the new system will be fully operational before the long weekend, i.e. today, to coincide with the start of our main 8th Avenue water treatment plant. Construction has been completed on a secondary ramp at the bakery in compliance with accessibility and COVID one-way traffic requirements. And a quote is being obtained for the installation of our first metal handrail upgrade. We'll start with the bakery, and a similar process will be applied to handrails on a gradual basis throughout the municipality, including part of the VB store, the recycling ramp. The list goes on and on. We've got a design, we've got a budget price, we've got a contractor who's working with us on it. So the handrails will roll out over time this summer. Quotes are being obtained for the repair of Red Wing stairs, replacement of the clubhouse beach number 2 stairs, and proposals for a rather extensive replacement of the Bayview number 4 stairs are being considered. Other miscellaneous items being attended to include replacement of the ceiling tiles in the Moonlight Inn patron washrooms. That's where the asbestos tiles were safely removed last year. And there's a minor roof leak that the roofing contractor will attend to on a warranty claim. We're also working to obtain budget pricing to support an accessibility grant application in process on accessible public washrooms and beach access with provision for handicap parking at 2 locations. Another item that's in the works, and there's probably been some progress on it, Penny, you might know of, as far as the provision of solar lighting at a few of the more awkward intersections within the VRA.
Trevor was looking at some solar lighting. I'm not sure if he's had a chance to order it yet, but it would only be right now at 2 locations that we're aware of. I don't want residents to think we're going to be lighting the car.
No.
It is 2 locations
These will be unobtrusive, and it was for 2 or 3 locations. Yeah, you're quite right. I think Trevor had a line on ordering them, but of course their preoccupation has been with the water up to now. But I thought I'd mention that that's in the works. So that's it for municipal buildings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaking of stairs and that, the sand ladder at the sand cliffs, the remediation and maintenance is almost complete. They've done a great job uncovering the ladder, and they've got a couple of high spots where they want to fill it in, and it will be done. It's more than passable now, but it'll be even just that little bit better once one suspended section is once again buffeted by sand.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Dr. Irwin?
Things are proceeding along. Our schedule has been now filled for doctors coming in. Again, we're cautiously optimistic that perhaps the health orders will be relaxed a little bit. That we are going to have to change the way the clinic operates, in the sense that we will not be able to use the waiting room. It's just not big enough to handle. So we're looking at getting some benches that could be placed along the sidewalk. But again, we're just kind of sitting on our hands a little bit, waiting to see how this COVID plague passes on. So, but it's looking optimistic, and the committee is enthusiastic, and we're told the doctors are enthusiastic about coming to the beach this summer.
A bit of an add-on, Irwin, if I may. You remember last year we took down the doctor's cottage sign from the roadway. So if we're going to proceed with doctors in attendance, we'll have to remember to put that sign back up. It's in storage someplace in Public Works, I believe. And we should also add a sign to the effect that the waiting room is closed, or whatever other temporary conditions are being applied.
Maybe we could let the doctors make something up and post it when they know more what's happening over there.
Yeah, whatever, as long as people know when they arrive, to avoid confusion and congregation. So thanks, Irwin.
Well, we've also done some work on updating the terms of reference that the doctors and the committee operate under, and we'll be presenting that in due course.
I noticed actually, Irwin, there's been a couple bills come in, or invoices come in from committee members without, I would argue, without authorization.
You're talking about the beds. The beds, I was approached on that, and we had put that into the budget, and it was my understanding that that was okay.
Well, I think we have budget. There was discussion last year. It's just that there was no approval or authorization requested before the purchases were made. And I believe some face masks were purchased. It's not a lot of money. That's not my concern. My concern is that we have to be accountable, and it's protocol, and no one on the committee, to my knowledge, has spending authority. So maybe before any further purchases are made, they should be checking with the admin, just to be on the safe side. To make sure.
Then that's my fault, because I was approached on both of those items, and it was my understanding that if it's in the budget, then we don't have to have a resolution. If that either one of those purchases were made without discussing it with myself.
You were aware. Okay.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other questions for?
It's my understanding that even if an item is in the budget, it still requires a resolution or action by the majority of council to enact it. Is that not the plan?
Depends on the amount.
Okay.
Depends on the amount.
Yeah, well, it's just like in business. People have a spending limit. Otherwise, they have to get authority to spend the company's money unless something is coming out of petty cash. It's the same principle here.
Yeah. In this situation, I can authorize it, because I have the spend limit to authorize it.
Yeah.
And it is in the budget. There is a budget for it.
It's just the step that needs to be in there is authorization should be given first. That's all.
I'll make sure that's reviewed.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Communications. Yeah. Business.
Continue to keep folks updated as much as possible. I see it on the website and also on the Facebook page. I'm looking forward to writing BB Herald articles this summer, along with my co-pen Steve.
A reminder then to all residents that yes, it's the May long weekend, but please respect COVID protocols. Please respect the fire ban. Please respect your neighbors.
Just on the COVID protocols real quick, you'll notice that I'm not in the city right now, and there's a reason for that. It's because somebody who I know, who I was inside of my bubble, got infected. So just a reminder, you need to follow all of the protocols at all times. One of the things I've been explaining to my classes, and there's a lot of study on this, is that, and it applies to war, but it applies to a lot of things. They did statistics as to when people are most likely to not come home when they go to war, and typically it's within the last week. And the reason is twofold. The first is that they get too complacent and they suddenly think that they're Arnold Schwarzenegger, or the other side is that they're way too safe. Now, the second one is the one that we want, but unfortunately, there's way too many people out there thinking that, oh, hey, vaccines are being distributed, this thing's almost over, it's not that big of a deal. No, it is a big deal, because you can possibly infect other people and keep this thing going. So don't.
They are talking fourth wave. Get your shots. Get your vaccine.
All right, thank you. Summer Information Office will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, starting Friday, June 25th, until Sunday, September 5th. Building Inspector, Mr. Randall.
Yes, I have Curtis's report. Permits issued, main dwelling 3, bunkhouse 3, additions 2, sheds 1, decks 5, leveling 3, and renovations 1. The value of permits, $1,060,000, and he's added very thoughtfully year-to-date figures. Year-to-date on the permits, 3,926,003. Call it 4 million. Way to go. Permit fees collected, 11,390. Permit fees collected year-to-date, $34,295. Thank you, Curtis, and we'll be considering your wish list at a subsequent meeting that's been being convened to take a look at it. So that's the building inspector report.
For all the new builds, welcome to Victoria Beach.
Absolutely. That's great. Thank you very much. Any questions for Graham? Right. Accessibility, Graham has already touched on some of the initiatives we're looking at. So thank you to Graham, to our accessibility chair, Rod Bowman, and Wolf Craft, who's been our contractor at the bakery, for going through 1, 2, 3, 4 revisions perhaps on that ramp.
No, there's only 3 revisions so far, but we still got big plans for next summer. So it's coming along. It's going to work out. And my thanks to Raymond for approving the extras that rolled up on us. But it's under control now, and it's going to work out just fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Heritage and Trails, anything to report? Oh, you're muted, sir. There you go.
I need the websites up, but what do you call it? The swing gates, those are supposed to be installed soon. That's pretty much all I got. And for Heritage, the next round for the volunteer award is up, so please sign up for that and nominate some people.
Steve, I've been trying to find out where these swing gates are going to be installed.
Oh, so the plan is to get them around. I think it's 6 key spots around the trail system. So one would be over at Sappy Road. The other one would be around the north, but it pretty much go around the perimeter of the trail system.
There
I
was
think-
some concern raised in Albert Beach that perhaps some of the beach access pathways would be blocked or potentially blocked by the swing gates. I hope that's not true.
No, my
Actually,
understanding.
we are talking about putting swing gates there. Public Works is talking about putting swing gates at the Albert Beach entrances. For people can still get through.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
vehicles can't.
Oh,
get
yeah.
through.
Exactly.
Just to keep the vehicles out. I know, Penny, we had talked about that in terms of the Pit Road extension through to the beach.
The purpose is the entire purpose of a swing gate is to be able to open and close them as necessary to traffic. So if you are a human being who enjoys walking just a little bit, then you will be more than fine to be able to make your way down to the beach.
Bicycles as well can get through them.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, I think at the last council meeting, there were concerns about ORVs, ATVs on the Albert Beach beaches.
Yep.
Well, these swing gates, like, I don't think they're together. My understanding is they're slightly apart or they're staggered. I'm not sure. It depends how you install them. So you can go around them if you're with a walking wheelchair, baby stroller, bicycle.
Yeah.
It's just vehicles. ORVs can't get through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if we follow the provincial model, then the easiest way to install them is separated slightly, so in that way the bikes can just go around. But again, you can't get motor vehicles through. And
Yep.
and ultimately, this will help us with police enforcement during the non-frozen months, because it's going to be harder for people to be up to nefarious activities when and not be able to escape the police.
What about small kayaks and canoes? Are they going to be able to pass through with those?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
probably.
can lift them up, you're good.
Yeah.
Lift them up.
Albert Beach, there's a number of people have some interesting gizmos, wheel devices, that the little carriages that they put their canoe on and wheel it down.
Yeah,
They might have to use the Saffy's Road Store to get down to the beach.
I don't think that that's an issue. These are on all sorts of trails. The Trans-Canada Trail has them all over the place. So you must be able to get through them.
Yeah.
Maybe
you have to swing wide.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I know Public Works has to do, is it MTS or hydro locates before they can put these posts in.
Yeah, they
So-
got to drill into the ground, and there's probably some concrete to embed it in. It's a bit of a job to install these things, but they're designed to be permanent.
All right, thank you. Any other questions on those? All right, I'll turn it over to our CAO for the personnel report.
As the head of personnel, I feel it's necessary for me to publicly address the false comments and inaccurate information that is stated on social media and by other communication methods relating to delivery of municipal services and our employees in general. Our Public Works full-time staff consists of 5 employees. One of the 5 is a mechanic. Our seasonal employees are called back to work in late April or early May each year. 2 new seasonal employees were hired this spring. For reasons that I cannot disclose, we are presently short 2 regular seasonal staff, which was unexpected, and I'm currently trying to recruit more seasonal staff. It has recently come to my attention that 1 or more public comments have been made claiming that the 8th Avenue water treatment plant was sabotaged. This is a very serious allegation that is patently false and slanders our provincially certified water plant operators as a group. The Stantec compliance report completed on August 28, 2018, Stantec engineering assessment completed on March 23, 2021, and annual Office of Drinking Water compliance audits do not raise any concerns relating to the actions of our municipal water system operators that could be remotely interpreted as sabotage. Nor do these reports indicate that the water systems are in a state of disrepair. The only incident of a serious nature that I am aware of occurred on July 27th, 2018, which was election night, when the contractor operating the 8th Avenue water plant added hydrogen peroxide to the treated water, which he was not authorized to do by the Office of Drinking Water. That resulted in a do not consume order. This individual was not an employee of the municipality. Since mid-August of 2018, only municipal employees have been operating the municipal water systems, and only those employees who possess the required provincial certification. All municipal personnel, public works, police, golf course, fire, and administration are essential workers and are doing their best to provide quality services to residents. And they have been doing so for over a year while trying to stay healthy during the pandemic and without vaccine priority. All our employees deserve to work in a respectful workplace, and during these extraordinary and difficult times, they have earned an even greater degree of my respect. And I sincerely hope that our taxpayers appreciate their outstanding service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here, here. Good for you, Raymond.
That needed to be said. And I would like to also thank you for all of your efforts in making sure everyone has the certifications, following up when there's an issue, and dealing with complaints from every angle. Council, employees, residents. It's a sometimes thank you.
Social media is not the place to go to get the facts.
What frustrates me the most is that people do not go to the source. They rely on irresponsible, disrespectful comments and
That are baseless.
and they don't think to contact the office, Public Works, a councilman, the police, the fire chief, any of those people who could provide them with the facts. You may not like the facts, but we can provide you with the facts. So I don't want to give social media too much credit, but they should be monitoring these sites and ensuring that derogatory, disrespectful comments are really not part of the discussion.
Absolutely.
So thank you again.
It almost sounds as though you're talking about ensuring that they have some accountability. That's just nasty thinking right there.
There is no accountability with some elements of social media. And
Yes.
as Mike would probably like to point out, there is only one RM of Victoria Beach social media account. All others are pale imitations and imitators and wannabes. And they should not be.
All right.
Well done, Graham.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion on our committee reports? All right, be it resolved that the May committee reports be accepted as presented. May I have a mover?
Right
Mike,
here.
thank you. Second, Steve, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you very much. Accounts and finance. Be it resolved that the following list of accounts be approved for payment. Accounts payable checks 9222 to 9263 in the amount of $80,653.74. And May 14th payroll in the amount of $48,379.29. May I have a mover? Irwin, thank you. Steve, will you second? Thank you. Irwin?
And as always, I've reviewed the list of accounts and they appear to be in order. There are two mid-sized values I'd like to highlight. One to our electrical contractor to do with the work at the water treatment plant in the amount of $11,673. And I believe that was installation costs relating to the new transformers that were necessitated by the backup power system. And secondly, as mentioned earlier by Graham, Safe Haven Builders has completed the work at the improved accessibility ramp at the bakery to the tune of $9,397. All the other items are routine.
except 2 mattresses, maybe.
I don't know that was on the accounts yet.
That's not in there.
It'll go through.
It'll get there.
It'll go through. It's approved.
All right. Thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Other business. Grant to the Albert Beach Association. Be it resolved, the arm of Victoria Beach Council authorized payment of a $1,000 grant to the Association Plage Albert Beach Association as a one-time contribution towards the purchase of a speedboard sign permanently located along Staffy Road. May I have a mover? Steve, and second, Irwin. Thank you. Discussion?
I think it goes without saying that the radar signs have reduced speed on Safi Road. It's a very busy road, and I applaud council's support of this contribution towards it's being shared by the RM of Alexander and the Property Owners Association on the south side of Safi.
At the actual property builder, the actual property owner associations are pointing up as well. I think this is a great use of funding. It also frees up our own digital speed sign to be used in other areas of the municipality, hopefully as a gentle reminder to folks, the dust stop isn't on yet, please slow down.
Well, slow down anyway.
Well, slow down anyway, yeah.
And on the speed sign, this is the weekend when Highways changes the sign on the causeway.
Good. Yeah,
So
reminder.
from Safi Road North, it is 70 kilometers an hour, probably Friday morning. So just beware. All right, no further discussion?
I mean, the only other thing that I would add to that is that I would like to see us buy one more, because the more of them that we can start moving them around, then the less and less we're going to have a problem. So one of the best things about the speed signs is that they send out an automatic report every month. So then that allows the police to know when they should be where to be able to slow people down. So if we had a second one and they were rotating around the RM regularly, which now that permanent one will allow us to do, then the police will have a lot more information and will be able to slow people down much more effectively. So, yeah.
Right. I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you.
Oh, and just one note, that sign is not taking photos, so please don't shoot it.
Oh, yeah. The FIA is not affected. Your personal information.
Yeah, it's not photo radar.
Not FIA, PIPIDA, sorry.
Moving on, 2021. Oh, pardon me. I opened to the bakery, right? Be it resolved, the arm of Victoria Beach Council accept the quote from West 4 Winnipeg, DC to install an electric door at the bakery at a cost of $3,332, taxes included. May I have a mover? Mr. Randall?
I'll move that.
Steve, do you mind seconding?
Sure.
Add your hand up. Okay, thank you. It's pretty self-explanatory. You want to add anything, Graham?
We've chosen the low bidder who, well, just coincidentally happens to be the same outfit that did a pretty decent job at the VB store last year. We have actually contacted 3 potential suppliers. Only 2 of them we got a coherent response from. They were both good quotes, and we chose the lower of the 2. Or you're about to choose the lower of the 2. Thank you.
And will they be able to get this installed before summer starts, do you believe?
With this resolution, I'll fire off. Raymond can send one of his your quotas accepted pleased to get started work. Or Raymond, if you want, I can communicate with Pinner, which is the name of the company that was for trades under. Do you want me to contact them with the go ahead?
Sure, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, well, I have to use the expression or go ahead system because we don't have a purchase order system, but forget I mentioned that. So.
I will. I've already forgotten it.
At least once a year, Raymond. Okay. Thank you.
You this year for the bids.
Okay, no further discussion. All those in favor? Carried. Thank
Deals
you.
about deals.
Next up, June district meetings. Be it resolved that all council members be authorized to virtually attend the AMM district meeting on June 7th, 2021. Further be it resolved, municipality cover all associated costs to attend said event per the terms of bylaw 1613. May I have a mover?
Yep. What
Graham,
was my
thank
hand? There it is.
Irwin, will you be my second? Thank you. As you know, we all got this email from the AMM, and these are virtual meetings. I think it's a half day. Just make sure you register if you do want to attend. Register. I think we can do that. Has anyone tried
We're gonna
registering?
have to register because I got caught short last time because I thought the registration was being handled slightly differently, and I had to make.
There is a deadline on the registration. I registered yesterday. It's straightforward, but there is a deadline. I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head.
Okay,
So make sure you register yourself. All right, all those in favor?
Yeah.
Carried, thank you. Do we have another
Not
resolution?
from zebras, it was the AMM.
There's no resolution till August 1st.
Yeah,
What about?
yeah, I do have.
Okay.
The reason the zebra mussels is on there is because when the correspondence back, question was, how do you want to proceed?
Yeah.
That's the only reason it's on this agenda.
Okay.
So, well, I guess we could say, how do we want to proceed?
I don't remember what the.
I don't remember what the options were
I
Okay.
chose the
That one?
proceed right away.
I can't tell you that that the Concerned Citizens Group is in direct contact with some members of the provincial government, and they're really working hard to try and see what can we do. First of all, what can we do about the current zebra mussel problem, and what is the doing to ultimately, hopefully, end the zebra mussel problem.
Okay, in my committee report, I neglected to mention that I had attended the May 10th Committee of Futures Winnipeg River Forum. I'll release a copy of the minutes when they become available, but my suggestion to the all the municipalities attending that they pass their own resolution to go forward to AMM was accepted, so there should be quite a number of others joining in with us.
And maybe that's what we need, just to get the attention of the province.
Yeah.
Give us some direction, some strategies to try and deal with the mussel
Yeah,
problem.
the silence is deafening.
I mean, there's really only one way that we can effectively deal with this much beach, which is to get a sand zipper at cost, obviously. But the only way you can permanently deal with it so it's no longer an issue is to go with the genetically altered species. It's the only way that you can get rid of them. You can't get rid of them any other way. You're talking about in a square inch of water having billions of eggs. So there's only one way to eradicate the species, and that's to go with the altered species that finds a flaw in their genome. And they're allowed to go into the water, and it wipes out the species. It's already been proven on 2 different occasions to work.
Right, but that's federal. That's up above.
Yeah, that's above our pay grade.
Only federal can play with the water.
But was it really
We could always make we could always make a request that the AMM start to push that option.
Yeah, but I'd like to know, what are we allowed to do right now? I mean, even if we had a certificate, are we allowed to use it? Where do we stack it? How do we transport it? As I said, from the province, the silence is deafening on this issue. We're getting absolutely no information. So let's give them a shove.
That's right.
Okay, so we'll bring that back around. The final item on our agenda, police ATV. Be it resolved, the Arm of Victoria Beach Council agree to fund the purchase of a police-equipped ATV, providing that a matching dollar amount will be committed from the proceeds of crime towards the total purchase price of the ATV. May I have a mover? Mike. Second, Steve. Discussion.
Just if I may, I know that we all think that Victoria Beach is still a piece of paradise without any type of crime in it, but ultimately that's not the case. I would personally be more in favor, given the information I have as a counselor, to go with this snowmobile, but our police would prefer at this time to have an ATV. I'll fully support this strictly over the fact that we are not the perfect little ray of sunshine. We do have some issues, and this will help to eliminate some of those issues. And what I think that people need to understand about the off-road vehicles in a police situation, and I've mentioned this previously, is that if our police are limited to the roads. So if somebody is coming into the RM with an off-road vehicle, all they need to do is make a left off of the road, and our police have to stop the chase because there's nothing that they can do. So this goes for thefts, this goes for other sort of nefarious and illicit products that you can imagine are coming in and out of the community. All of that, this is a way that we can start to finally crack down on these effectively. And there is a system that these people have created that thrive off the fact that we don't have the ability to pursue a proper chase of them, to stop them and throw them in jail where they belong. So this will allow us to start doing that.
Well spoken, Steve, well spoken. Just purely from a financial point of view, when we have an opportunity to provide additional equipment to our police and only have to pay 50 cents on the dollar, you don't want to pass by that opportunity. If we don't take advantage of this offer, we may not get a chance in future.
And before, and I'm going to say it, before social media explodes with fear mongering of a police ATV zip-zapping all over the municipality, especially in the VRA, and endangering the lives of old folks and children, there would be very strict restrictions put on this. The ATV would primarily be for the purpose of patrolling in the shoulder seasons. Spring and fall is where the vast majority of break-ins happen. And what's happening is that the thieves are ATVing into the VRA when it's empty, and they're hitting on every avenue, on Sunset, on all of the streets. And once the police get there, what are they seeing? They're seeing ATV tracks. They can take up a chase against an ATV, and they have actively pursued ATVs of people who have just broken into a cabin and stolen from that cabin. And as Steve said, as soon as they take a left off the road, they're gone. The police can't stop them. And Steve also alluded to a system that they have. Police know who some of these people are, and it used to be that what they could do is they could head straight for the residence of the person who they thought was committing the crimes. What they do now is they dump the stuff that they steal somewhere in the bush in a secure place, and they wait. They wait and wait and wait until they figure it's safe. Then and only then do they go and retrieve the stolen property, and then it's immediately taken to be fenced or or sold or what have you. Having this ATV will allow us not only a better chance to catch these people who think it is an absolute joke that they can come into the RM and steal and leave via an ATV. We can start catching these people and putting them away. But as Steve also alluded to, there's also a drug problem in Victoria Beach. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. And drugs are routinely transported in and out of the RM via ATV. And I would love to give our police an even chance of getting at these folks who are in the drug business as well.
Yeah. Well said, Mike. It can level the playing field, and these bad guys, these perpetrators, they know each other intimately. This device will, I believe, will also act as a strong deterrent. Word's going to get around very fast among the offenders that, whoa, we can no longer run roughshod throughout RMVB.
And just to remind those people that the police response time is 60 seconds. So if you're going to break the law for this, you got about 60 seconds before you're in handcuffs. So it's not worth it anymore.
I seem to be the only one who has concerns, and you guys have addressed many of them. I just know that our community is not overly enthusiastic about ORVs, ATVs.
Don't we all?
So I don't want this to be, I'm glad Mike addressed the fact that they're not going to be on beaches unless there's a specific reason.
Unless there's a specific reason.
And it won't, they're not going to be having chases throughout the municipality on ORVs.
And they probably won't be required in the VRA during the VRA season because there are too many people there. Okay, this ATV is going to aid the police in crimes of opportunity. Okay, which typically happen, as I said, in the shoulder seasons. So you're not going to see an ATV buzzing around the avenues of the VRA. That's not the intent. This is a tool to assist police in the complete capture and arrest of people who are moving drugs in and out of the RM and stealing from this RM.
Yeah.
I can support the motion provided a detailed operational set of guidelines are established.
Absolutely.
Make it clear.
No, this won't be the Wild West.
And the resolution is to match the funds. We have to see the funds first. We need confirmation. And I'll stand by my comment on the deterrent value of such a device.
Very good point.
I mean, the ones to note, Penny, off of your comment, is that I think there's a huge difference between recreational ATVing and something that's used for protecting and serving. So, I mean, I know that people are going
to emergencies, evacuations, all these things. Steve, you're right.
Yeah. People won't be thrilled that that the police are getting an ATV, but I think that that's once they understand that there are certain restrictions about it, that if they do see them on the beach, it's for a very specific reason, and that and the reason why it's being purchased, and again, it's for protection, then that makes a lot of sense versus, and it's only one, right? We're not talking about a fleet of them. So that also changes things up as well.
Graham?
Could we add a few words to the resolution to the effect that a detailed operational guidelines will be drawn up and put in force?
Goes without saying that there will be.
Yeah, I think that's a separate issue.
As long as that's all understood, that's fine with me. Good, thank you.
And that would be a police board.
The police board will ensure it.
And I forgot, I didn't mention, we did get an email from the police board chair. The police board is in favor of this purchase.
Yeah.
So it's come to our table because we have to approve the extra funds.
Yep.
So,
And it's not the first time that they've tried to get it. It's just the first time that this is like.
This is the first time that
this is the
first time, yeah. This is the first time that an actual offer has come back from the proceeds of.
Yeah,
Yes.
this has come up in budgeting year after year, and we've said,
Get it.
let's wait to see what proceeds of crime can cough up. Okay, well, here they are. They're knocking at the door. Let's answer it.
Madam Mayor, call the vote, please.
I will call the vote, gentlemen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Opposed?
No opposed. I had my hand up.
We
Bless you. Thank you so much.
I was scratching my back for a bit.
Yeah.
No, I'd be happy if there's an operational or procedural.
There will be.
There will be.
All right, good discussion. Thank you. Any correspondence, gentlemen, that has come your way that hasn't been answered or addressed? Irwin?
By now, everyone will have received this. The census form. I understand they're being delivered to cottages
Yes,
They
they
are,
are.
and bunkhouses.
and bunkhouses, yes.
My workshop.
So I wanted to get clarity. I phoned the government today and I said, do I just throw this in the garbage? And the answer is absolutely not. If you are not a permanent resident, then when it asks you how many people live in this dwelling, the answer is 0.
Yep.
And then it'll default to
That's the end.
ask you, is this a secondary residence? It's important that we all complete the second form for our cottages.
Oh, good
And I
advice.
guess your bunkhouse too.
Please don't throw them away.
No. But I think you need to have the actual form that's left on your doorstep because you open up the
That's a
flap and it
16-digit
has a
number.
digit number, like a passcode.
Yeah, there's an access code that you need to type in before you can complete the form online.
Yeah.
Right. So for those people who aren't going to be up at the beach to collect them, that's what's hanging on their door, they may be able to fill them in at a later date. There is a deadline, but I think they're still allowing people to fill them in.
Good advice. Don't ignore them, please.
If you go onto the website, there is a telephone number where you can secure a second form if you've inadvertently thrown away your one at the cottage.
And I noticed on my front step today, the Cottager's Guide for 2021 was delivered.
Oh, my.
Yes, with the Victoria Beach inserts in it, the 2021 information for residents and the recommended tree and bush guide for our community. So
Good.
check your front steps.
Oh, well, I'll have to run out and look at my doorknob. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get out much.
Well, it may take them all, a few days, but mine was delivered today. So thank you to the volunteer who did that.
Excellent.
Great.
Any other correspondence?
Just, I'm sorry, Steve.
Go ahead.
No, just again, emphasizing, please don't feed wild animals. I was contacted by folks in my neighborhood and other neighborhoods who have seen a number of bears already this year. And the reason why they're seeing them is because somebody's feeding them. So don't do it.
And make sure the garbage bins are shut.
Make sure the garbage bins are shut. Order a bear resistant bin
Us or
from us
somewhere
or,
else.
yeah, actually, that's a very good point, if I may.
Yeah.
Okay, don't feel that you have to buy one from the RM. If you can find a bear resistant bin, that is a bin that closes, is reinforced and requires an opposable thumb to operate, to unlock, then go for it. I don't think you'll find out there at a better price than what the RM is offering. And folks that already have, folks that already have bear resistant containers, I know that folks do have them. Okay, give me a shout, let me know. I'll be happy to personally come and take a look at it and tell you whether it passed muster or not. But we do use a certification out of BC that's called Wild Safe. And the bins that we sell, the bear resistant bins that we sell, must be certified Wild Safe, which means they can take an attack from a black bear for an hour. I mean, don't fool yourselves. A bear will ultimately get into anything, but these bins give you your best chance of deterring a bear from getting into your garbage.
Thank you.
Sorry.
If you're not securing your garbage, you're feeding the animals. Face it, don't do it.
Steve?
Yeah, just to that point, if you are leaving, if you're leaving garbage out, then we do have a bylaw for that. So there have been some cabins and specifically renters who are leaving bagged garbage out on their front lawn, and there is a bylaw for that. So there are penalties for doing so. But just real quick, I'll repeat the same thing that I repeat every time, which is go get your vaccine, go get your vaccine, go get your vaccine. I want to stop wearing a mask. I want to stop having council meetings online. I want to get back to normal. We can't do that until everybody goes and gets your vaccine, and that includes the students and anybody who is above the age of 12. All of that vaccines that we have in Canada right now that we're offering are completely safe. The mRNA vaccines, they are 100% safe. The extremely rare reactions that people are having are more than 1 in a million, or sorry, less than 1 in a million. So it's just they're safe. Go get the vaccine, and follow COVID protocols, and call the police when people are violating the law. The last thing that we can afford, especially this summer, is to have an outbreak. We didn't have one last year. And the last thing that any of us want is to suddenly find ourselves in a full lockdown in Victoria Beach. I can tell you right now, it's not fun. I've had to isolate twice now. I can't leave the property. It is absolutely infuriating, despite the fact that, you know, I feel like I'm in paradise. Just let's not have to go into quarantine because we have an outbreak this year. Last thing is just with on fire. Again, I'll repeat it. Conifers are unbelievably dangerous trees. We need to remove and replace. We need to get away from our old growth forest and switch over to new growth forest. If you want to plant new trees, ensure that the deciduous trees, they have deep root systems. Most of them are very good at surviving droughts, and they don't topple over very easily, and they don't rot from the inside. So you can also identify them when they're dead before they fall into your cabin. So yeah, those were the things that I want to go over one more time.
Thank you.
Don't light fireworks this long weekend.
And if you see someone lighting fireworks, please call the police.
Yeah.
You'll often wait. By the time the police do get there, depending on what's going on, they're gone. The people are gone. The fireworks are on the floor or on the ground, and nobody claims responsibility. Go figure. So please call the police if you see anything of that nature.
Absolutely.
All right. Any other correspondence, gentlemen? No. All right. Well, be it resolved that the May 18th, 2021 regular council meeting be adjourned. Next regular meeting to be held on June 1st, 2021 at 6 p.m. 705 1661 Portage Avenue in Winnipeg. Yeah, I have a mover. Mike,
I will
second,
move this
Steve.
time. A productive meeting.
All those in favor?
All right.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank you.
great long weekend.
20 after 7.